Greetings, mortals. Watch out for that first step. It's a doozy. I am Harrison Tarr, and I come to you before we jump into the actual video to update you on a few things that you might have missed. This is going to be an actual play that I ran for a couple of friends of mine, based on Into the Weird and Wild using the Dungeon World system, and is very spooky. If you like this content with me GMing, then you will almost certainly like the Tabletop Sandbox podcast. Season 1 is an 18-episode, or will be, I should say. It's all pre-recorded, but it will be made available to you weekly. It is an actual play Blades in the Dark podcast. You can gain access to the podcast episodes early, as well as exclusive access to Blades After Dark, the after show, on our Patreon. And if you go up to the $6 tier on our Patreon, the normal just podcast stuff is $3. You can also get access to GM resources that I will be releasing every month. Without further ado, let's jump into this spooky actual play for the month of October. With Grandfather now returned to the earth, you stand before this ancient stone arch that forms a doorway into another domain. You know not anything, really, of where this might lead, the area that is before you, hidden behind this wall of thickets. All you know is that your quarry, the strange beast that you have been tracking, has traversed through the doorway. What do you do?
I'm going to send Moss on ahead.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys haven't, you should really look up a video of a goshawk, like, flying through tight spaces. It's so cool. They're forest birds, and they're very, very cool.
You send Moss ahead, and the bird disappears into the forest. It's pretty dark on the other side of this.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the vegetation is much thicker than it is out here.
Mm-hmm.
And returns not too long later, and does it say anything about a telepathic bond?
You have a supernatural connection with a loyal animal. You can't talk to it, but it always acts as you wish it to.
Gotcha. Moss returns quicker than you expected. Not agitated or anxious, but seems like nothing much to report, but returned pretty quickly. You don't get much more than that. Like, nothing immediately to worry about, but wasn't able to give you anything super beneficial.
Okay.
Since I did do the communing with the weird, was there anything that I can, is there any way that it could help us?
So you did commune, or not commune, you,
I did
petitioned,
the practice.
you
yeah.
beseeched,
Mm-hmm.
by doing and we can consider this one the one for Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
When you beseech the word for its immeasurable power and knowledge through the observance of your coven, you are granted some useful knowledge or boon related to your coven's locus. The GM will tell you what. I think that as you have these bright blue mushrooms kind of, I don't know if blooming is the right term, but growing from Grandfather and the area around him, you kind of get the sense, you hear almost an echo, or feel it, of something like these mushrooms, as a few of them aren't just bright blue, but they start even to glow. You hear the echo of something much older and much greater. There is an area kind of through this gate, and within this area beyond it, where there are versions of this species of mushroom that are very, very old. Mm-hmm. And you kind of get the sense that there is, beyond this gate, it may not all be safe, but there is a section where there is this ancient fungal colony.
Okay.
And that's the kind of the information you get from that. beseechment,
Okay.
which I'm not sure is a real word, but it's a word I made up, and Google Docs didn't put a squiggly line under it, so I'm gonna stick with it. So as you kind of cross through this archway, you do see that it is, significantly darker in here, and because there is this naturally kind of formed pathway where the trees grow up on either side and then the canopy kind of closes overhead to make this arboreal tunnel that leads through the wilderness, and it seems intentional. Like it doesn't like things don't normally grow like this, and so this is an obvious pathway. And so one of the things is you're not trapped in here. You can go off into the thick woods on either side, but to do that would be leaving the path and would risk a chance of being lost. Because now you're like actually in the wilds, right? This is like the dangerous wilderness dungeon rather than just going through the wilderness. Right now, as you kind of come into this area, you're standing right at the entrance, and there is this dark pathway, this tunnel of trees that heads kind of north from where you are, and you know that it'll lead to some location,
Okay.
right? If you keep following it, and you're not really sure where everything else would be.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Are the
then-
tracks on the path?
For now, yeah.
Okay, then we'll go
yeah,
forward.
we'll just follow it.
Sure.
Until we have a reason to stop or change direction.
You continue following the tracks. They are continuing along this path within this naturally or perhaps supernaturally formed tunnel. And as you make your way down it, it is very, very dark. And it gets to the point where you can barely like see your hand in front of your face. And as you are walking through this tunnel of almost pure void, having been long enough for your eyes to adjust, but it just being that dark, you begin to feel the darkness itself kind of weigh on your shoulders, almost oppressively. And you start to kind of just the faint outlines of trees around you, the edges of this passageway, they just start to disappear, and you like almost feel like you're going blind because of how dark it is. And this darkness begins to weigh on you, and you feel this energy of it almost like pressing on your mind, and you feel like you're being influenced by something. What do you do?
Is it like a dangerous influence?
Potentially. You gonna just let it into your head and find out?
It could show me some really cool shit, Harrison.
Could potentially.
It could also just fucking kill me.
Maybe.
Whatever this is, I'm gonna try to prevent it from
Okay.
taking a hold.
And how are you doing that?
So does this just kind of feel like a physical
No.
depression? It's
It
mental.
is almost spiritual.
Okay.
Like mental, spiritual, like it is pressing in on your personage, not your body, but your personage.
So this might be dangerous, but do I have something in my adventuring gear where I can like try and make some light?
Yeah, you could absolutely pull a torch out of your adventuring gear.
Okay.
Can I discern realities?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
That's a 10. That's a 10.
That's a
Nice. So you get to ask
Nice.
3 questions.
Okay. What is about to happen?
You kind of take a step back almost from what's happening to your body, because it's hard to focus with this going on.
Yeah.
And you almost call upon the weird to give you perspective on what's going on here. You pass through a gate into this area, and you would gather that there is some entity or force who claims this area as its domain, and what you are getting right now is the entity who is in kind of dominion over this area of the wilds is trying to assert their control over you and like bring you into the fold. Like you are in their territory and now they are going to make you one of theirs. That is what is about to happen.
What should I be on the lookout for?
You should be on the lookout for creatures who are already under the influence of this entity. Because if it's doing this to you, it definitely has done this to others.
What here is not what it appears to be.
This darkness
Okay.
is not merely because of the thickness of the canopy. This tunnel that you are passing through right now has an aspect of void to it, and that is how it is so dark, even with the sun still up. You know, outside it is overcast, right? And thick trees can make it dark, but this dark, there's something beyond the physical that is affecting it. And so, like, this area is under some preternatural effect.
Okay. That's terrifying. So you're going to pull out your torch?
Yeah.
Are you pulling out the torch to physically repel the darkness? Is it to, like, mentally give yourself comfort in the warmth and light of fire? What I'm going to have you roll Defy Danger, but I'm curious which ability you're using.
I think the fact that I can't see anything, and then with this just impending, like,
the pressure
pressure happening mentally, I think lighting this torch to at least get some physical bearings around me to help ground me, in reality, to, like, I don't know, try to stabilize myself so I don't descend further into madness.
This seems like plus wisdom to me to try and stave off madness. Go ahead and roll Defy Danger using wisdom.
Snake eyes.
Oof. So that's a total of 4. Mark XP.
I don't want to mark XP.
I think you get out your torch and you get out your flint and steel and you're trying to hold the torch under an arm and strike your flint and steel and get it lit, and you are a little frantic, and you strike and then you end up dropping your torch and you kick it away and it's just gone because of how dark it is here. Like, so you lose your torch and you're still very much on the edge, and at this point that was to, like, avoid having to resist this effect, but I think because you failed that, now you have to. So I'm gonna give you -1 forward on this, so you're gonna take a -1 to this roll.
Okay.
Because of that failure.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll Defy Danger plus Wisdom again, for a slightly different reason.
That's really good. That's 12, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, because that's 11 -1 + 2.
Yeah, so you do this and you kind of are freaking out. You're trying to light the fire and then you drop it and kick it away and you drop to the ground and you're looking around for it and it's just not, you can't find it and you're panicking a little bit, and then you feel this pressure just increase on your mind, and then you see just the surface of scales, white scales, and then a single eye opens completely black. No pupil, no iris, no cornea, just completely black as void on this creature that you're not seeing the whole of, but the eye opens and it looks to you and calls you. Follow me. And you manage to resist it. You are not drawn inexorably in to that you have to say yes. But what do you do?
No. No. I can't. I need help. I need help. Something bad.
And you do, even as you say that, you reach out to your cousin, and you manage to push through the worst of it. This eye is gone from your mind, and doesn't seem quite so dark anymore. You, understanding this a little bit more, are still feeling that pressure. And even though you haven't seen it, that black eye's focus has turned to you. What do you do?
I imagine we were pretty close because it was getting really dark, and we didn't want to lose each other. I'm hearing you stumble around, and so I reach out my staff so I know where you are, and so my staff is touching her back, and I am also going to resist with my mind, so wisdom.
Sure. Go ahead and roll Defy Danger plus Wisdom.
Oh,
no.
Nope.
Has to be on the table.
Ooh. Okay.
9, that's a 9.
9.
Nice. You now see in front of you, as Bark, you're on the ground kind of gasping, but through the worst of it. Now you are assaulted with this image of just massive form, white scales, a flared nostril, and then this massive black eye opening, looking deep into you, and you're resisting it, and you feel it is pressing against you, and you feel that this mind is greater than yours. But defeat is not inevitable. You can even sense that Bark has resisted it, but you're having a tough time of it, maybe because you're so close to the weird. And you hear this, it's not so much words, it's true telepathy, it's just the meaning of them communicated to you. You are not so strong, little witch, and you do not want to make an enemy of me. You have promise. It would be a shame for me to break you. So accept my offer willingly, and you will maintain most of yourself. And you kind of sense a bit of respect from this entity, and get, like, basically what this offer is I'm not just gonna completely take you over as a thrall. Like, if you choose to follow me, I will have influence over you and you will serve me, but I will allow you to be yourself still.
And if I don't take it, he's gonna hurt me?
Then whatever this entity is will, you will have made an enemy of it, and whatever influence it threatened to break you. You're not sure exactly if it's capable of doing that, especially at this point.
Can I discern realities again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, that was really bad. That's a 5.
5.
I don't get anything, huh?
Nope, you don't get anything. You get XP though.
Ayo.
Does this deal mean I follow it forever, or is it?
You don't know.
I can't ask you.
Yes or no?
Yeah, you're kind of in this moment
Yeah.
of tension, fighting against this thing, and you can either keep fighting and know that your strength might fail, or you can kind of accept the truce and back off, and so whatever happens won't be done with an element of brute force.
I don't want to make an enemy of it. I think I'm gonna give in.
Okay. You feel as the darkness around you, this void, presses down, and then you're fighting against it, and then you let go, and you allow whatever this entity is to, enter your self, your soul, and alter you, and you see the darkness just grow utterly complete, and then it alleviates, and now you can see a lot more clearly, actually. Like, you now have the ability to see in the dark, and you see clearly, but you also feel this connection to whatever this entity is. You're still ignorant as to what it is or who it is, but there is this connection to both this entity at like kind of the head, as well as you feel a connection with the entities of this forest that also serve this being, and you feel drawn to, you are called to go present yourself before your new master, who is kind of at the center of this patch of forest. It's not the most direct route, but you are called to kind of follow along this trail, and then eventually it will lead you to where you need to go.
Does the path to the entity, is it like similarly aligned to the tracks that we're following?
Yeah, I mean, it's right now, it's
it's
just
a
this
straight shot?
passageway with
Okay.
trees on either side. This, I think I've called this area in my notes, the Void Passage.
Okay.
And so currently, this is the path that you are supposed to follow, the direction you're already heading. Called to go meet your new leader, your new boss, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this is the direction that the tracks are following.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I think Bark is like getting up off the ground.
You can
and
find that torch now if you
Yeah.
want to.
I'm gonna go and find it. Get my torch. Can I light it up?
Yep. And as you turn and look at your cousin, you're kind of taken aback as you see that she maintains one of those eyes that are strange with the large iris, but her other eye is completely black. Black as void.
Pear?
Why did you light your torch? It's kind of bright out.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm
Do
fine.
you have it under control?
I know coming into the wilds comes with risks. And we're out here to find Sapling. It said that if I didn't give in, it would be our enemy.
Well, then we'll push forward. You let me know if you see anything.
Of course, and put your torch out. It's really bright.
All right, but you're gonna have to guide us. Yeah, I'll put my torch out.
Sure. Now that your night vision is ruined, it is going to definitely take like 20 more minutes, but it never gets dark to the point where you can't see the general shapes of the trees in the path in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you find this void passage kind of opening up, and there is still a path in front of you, but it is not this oppressive enclosed hallway anymore, as it kind of opens up into a new area, and you find yourself in a more lit, it's still the gray overcast autumn sky, but you can see now, and the light doesn't hurt your eyes.
Yeah.
But you can see in the dark now. They are a little bit more sensitive. But, again, it's not just a massive pupil. Your entire eye is now black as void. But yeah, you make your way now into a patch of forest. And without these walls guiding you, the path, the tracks that you are following become a little bit more difficult. And is there anything you would like to do before continuing your hunt?
Would we be setting camp now, or do we still have a bit more to go?
You could push on. I'm not going to make you set camp, I don't think. It is drawing close to sunset, but there is still light.
Yeah, I feel like we should prepare for camp just because we're deep, and I'd like to get a good perimeter sweep of our surroundings before we set our camp.
That's fine. I do have to meet with them, though. I don't think it has to be tonight, but I will have to.
Would you rather tonight?
Did it seem urgent that they wanted me to go, like, now?
No, that's just the next thing
Okay.
that you need to do for them. You need to go, like, present yourself, kind of to be officially welcomed as a new follower.
Okay, do I show up at the assigned time, or do I show up 5 minutes later to be my new boss?
It's not like, now that you have you succumbed and you gave allegiance, it's not like a rush.
Okay.
It's kind of like, okay, now you need to fill out this paperwork and get it to me in the next couple of weeks, kind of deal.
Okay.
It's no longer like the crux of it was, are you going to submit or are you going to be my enemy? And then you gave in, and so the battle has been won, and so there's not any urgent task for you that you need to do. It's just now you need to come say hello, kiss the ring.
Okay. But he didn't get shit for it?
He resisted.
Wait, if he shows up, will he get shit for it?
Maybe
I go alone.
I don't know about that. I think I think we get some rest and prepare for whatever we have ahead of us tomorrow.
I agree.
you said something about wanting to check the perimeter.
Yeah, I want to secure the perimeter. Maybe
Sure.
send. Well, this probably
Could be
myself and my bird.
Sure.
Just sending him for a larger perimeter sweep while I'll do a more immediate view of the area.
That sounds like discern realities to me about your general area.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and roll that?
Snake eyes.
Oof.
So 4.
4. Mark XP.
Yay.
You get to ask no questions. And so for your next wilderness tracker roll, you're going to take -1.
Okay.
So if you would make a note of that somewhere.
And then I think we set camp.
Sure. Yeah. So let's see. We are going to do the make camp roll.
Yay.
So consume a ration.
Here, take one of mine.
Oh, so I
So
won't
that-
mark anything.
Yeah, so that I can bump myself back down to 7 instead of 8. Wait.
So why don't you guys roll plus Constitution
Okay.
to see if you're gonna take 1, 2, or 0 levels of exhaustion.
What do I roll?
Plus con.
2d6 plus con.
That's a 10. That's a 10.
Nice.
That's a 6. That's a 6.
Yes! Finally, I beat one of your rolls.
But I get 2 exhaustion. Yay. But I can
You can
stuff.
spend 2 rations to not take exhaustion.
I'm gonna do that.
Before we sleep, I think I saw a spell in the Into the
Weird and wild.
Weird and Wild, where basically I can summon like some moss. I forgot what it was, but relieves 1 exhaustion after you wake up. So I can do that before we go to sleep, and then I'll have you sleep on it.
You're able to commune, switch up your prepared spells, and then cast it.
Ooh, that's a 6.
So you fail. I think what happens is it's supposed to be soothing moss, but it ends up becoming a bed of thorns.
It's
Okay.
oh jeez.
Or you know what it is? I think it is moss, but there's an aspect to it that it is not soothing, and
It's itchy.
it's like itchy or bumpy or something, and it's just not pleasant to sleep on. I think you don't know that it doesn't work, right? And so you sleep on it, but it's actually uncomfy, and so you both take a level of exhaustion. Another one.
An additional.
An additional.
Alright.
So you
That's
will
another
have
ration.
to spend a ration to
Sick.
get rid of that.
Okay. I have 2 left.
So you wake the next morning. It's very much like everybody just dead-eyed as they drink their coffee, kind of in the morning. Like nobody slept well. It was colder than you expected, and the ground was uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think Bark is gonna try to find a trail again.
Roll plus wisdom for wilderness tracker with -1.
Is Moss helping me?
Yes, Moss can help you
Yay.
because you're looking for tracks.
Yes. 7.
7. Okay.
It's 2 2s.
So that is a minor setback and
Tick.
1 mark. Go ahead and roll a d10 for me.
6. So we're at 8 out of 12 on the marks.
Correct.
Do you have anything of saplings on you?
How likely would it be that I'd have a memento of my daughter?
You were out on a hunt. I'd say 50%. Why don't you just... Yeah, we'll roll percentile because it's fun to roll percentile.
Okay. That is 46.
46. That's a success.
All right.
So, what small token of saplings do you carry with you when you go on hunts?
She probably carved something into like maybe it's a little bear or a little wolf or something that she carved out of wood that she gave me when she was like a little kid.
Yeah, I like that. A little like whittled wooden wolf.
Yeah.
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 A whittled
wooden
wolf.
A whittle wooden whittled.
Okay. But yeah, that's what it is. So you do have something of hers. Do you commune again before you leave for the morning?
Before we leave, yeah.
It's less picking up the trail and more you see like a footprint. And then you're like, okay, well, this creature seems to be heading this way. And then you look and look and look, and then you find another one. And you're like, okay, we are heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then you just keep going. I think you notice, Perrin, as you are passing some of the like squirrels or birds that are sitting in trees. You see that they have 2 fully black eyes, and they watch. You probably both notice this, but the handful of animals that you see, they don't have their natural eyes. They have eyes of void.
Do you have the spell?
I was thinking about wolf scent, but the thing is, I need her scent and her tracks, and so we assume that these are her tracks, right?
Yeah. I think so.
So I'm not sure if the item that you have would therefore necessarily have her scent on it. I mean, it could.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Cause I don't want to take it, cause I feel like my character would know whether that's like possible or not. I have a really bad feeling about this, but I think those are her tracks, and that something's happened to her. But we're also heading the direction of my boss, which might get a little dangerous for you.
It's fine.
It's like
Wilds.
I'm like, hey man, I got like indoctrinated into a cult. You can be there, but like, you know, I kind of. I'll be there.
I'll support you in all your
Thanks.
endeavors, cousin.
So yeah, I think we could head there first because maybe our missions align.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So, and it would give us more information because right now we have nothing because the only other tracks that are with her are dead.
Yeah.
So, I feel like anything that could give us help at this point is what we're looking for.
Right.
You find that there is a trail that continues, but it is overgrown and difficult going. It will take twice as long to traverse this trail than a normal trail. Or you could try and push through it at normal speed, but you would have to roll to avoid being lost. So, are you going to take your time and make sure you're heading in the right direction, or try and navigate the wilderness?
I feel like we don't want to get lost, right?
I've seen the lost chart. It's horrendous. I think it's like depending on your role, we could be lost anywhere for a couple hours to like 20 days, my guy.
Yeah.
So
lost for time. Yeah. Let's not get lost. Let's not get lost. We
But
can take our
how desperate are you? Do you think Bark would risk it? Or do you think even if it would take longer and the chances of her
time. Well, it would slow our speed down in half for us trying to get to our destination versus potentially slowing it down like magnitudes more by
fair.
getting lost. So I think it's worth it to slow down and make sure we're going the right direction.
So you take your time along this path. And as you go along it, we resolve the roll that we made earlier for the minor setback. You start to notice rabbits with two void black eyes.
Yeah.
And at first it's just one or two, like a family of them. But then you start to see more as you're making your way along this path. And they begin to line like the edges. And then at one point you're looking and you can see like over 20 rabbits that are along the edges of the path, just looking at you with pitch black eyes.
Oh.
I'm gonna try to discern realities. I need to know what the fuck is going on.
Sure.
Can we both do that?
Yes.
7, that's a 7.
Yeah.
Eight.
That's a 7.
So you can ask one question.
9. So same thing. We each get a question.
What is about to happen?
These are not creatures here of their own will. They're here for a reason, and it is most likely at the behest of something more powerful than them. So you have the feeling you're about to meet that something or someone.
Okay.
What here is useful or valuable to me?
Respect. These creatures bear the void black eyes of the being who is the ruler of this domain, and so your attitude and actions toward that creature's followers matter.
Okay.
Well, I have the connection with the being. Is there a certain feeling in my chest that I feel like I would have to go in order to meet them? Like is there like a
I mean, you're headed along the right path.
Okay, so if I just continue this path, I will eventually meet
Yeah.
them. Okay.
As you take
Yeah.
a few more steps forward, coming out from behind a tree in front of you, you see a lithe humanoid body, just all muscle and sinew. A nude woman whose head is not that of a human or an elf, but of a rabbit. This is something further gone and yet more in control than a ravager. This is something that has been touched or selected by powerful spirits within the wilds and turned into whatever this is. Whoever this is, they are a child of the woods, carrying a longsword casually, as if they're very familiar with it. This creature walks up to you and kind of looks you in the eye, and you see that one of its eyes looks like that of a rabbit, and the other is void black. It just kind of looks at you, and you see the nose kind of twitch. And the gaze that it gives you is simultaneously like that of a wild animal, in that it is kind of foreign, in that it like you can't really understand their world specifically. You're much more at home within the minds of fungus, but also vastly more intelligent than a beast. This gaze that kind of pierces through you and sniffs and just kind of looks you up and down, gives a bit of a nod, and then walks past you to Bark. And you see that there's kind of like a roll of the shoulders and like the ears twitching, and you see the nose twitching, and you not being a servant of the master that they share, and yet still being here, you can sense that there is tension.
Okay.
What do you do?
I think my bow is still like slung across my shoulders. I'm not drawing any weapons. I use my spear as a walking stick, but like I don't have anything drawn, and I'm just gonna sit there still, and not make any type of moves in aggression. Stand there like a tree.
Yeah.
A true bark.
This being walks up to you, and she kind of looks you up and down, sees you not doing anything at all, and then just very casually kind of raises her sword and sets it against your neck, gazing at you with this gaze that is at least an attempt to make you feel far beneath this creature.
I think moss flew off my arm and into the trees. Found a place to perch away from this. Like, fuck that, I'm out of here. I think Bark will probably just drop to his knees in a like subservient manner.
When you have leverage on a GM character and manipulate them, roll plus charisma. The leverage you have is your kind of subservience. Are you just mad because he now has to roll charisma?
Because we were just talking about our dump stats, right? And he's like, yeah, my dump stats charisma.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I do all the talking.
Yeah. I am going to give you +1 to this because you are currently with somebody who is a part of the club.
So no modifier.
So no modifier, just a straight 2d6.
My bird has abandoned me.
Your bird is in a tree nearby.
That's an 11.
Nice.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh.
This is a tense moment.
Yeah.
As this being looks down at you, and you kind of drop to your knees. It's hard to tell with the face of a rabbit.
Yeah.
But with her sword kind of at your neck, there might be the twitch of a smile. And then she kind of looks up into the tree and then removes the sword from your neck, turns, and begins walking as moss alights on her shoulder and kind of motions for you two to follow her.
Okay.
Moss, you traitor.
That damn bird.
Got a lot of attitude for an animal. Then we follow, I guess.
Yeah.
And you could tell that she called the bird.
Yeah,
like that was a move.
Right. Okay. I'll stand up. Big exhale. Just. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. You did good.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, we'll follow Bunny Lady.
She kind of walks just a step in front of you, but if you try to follow too close, she'll like give you a look So you end up like following it like 10 paces behind.
Yeah.
In an awkward, tense silence as well.
Yeah. Yeah, not a word spoken, and you see that the bunnies kind of disperse. You continue on your way.